Alright lads, so we're halfway through the month, and with that we now have a new set of Inheritance Trials quests to go against. In this case, the enemies, stage hazards, and most importantly the characters that you can use have now changed, and as always we're going to give you lads some recommendations on how to best tackle this quest for basically the next 30 or so days. So the quest itself has been available since the 16th and will change over once more, so the enemies will change on May 14th. This time around, we are going against Quincy enemies, so those that have Quincy Killer are going to be more ideal hits since they are getting that 3x killer effect damage buff. The enemies, of course, since we are playing Inheritance Trials, does have Iron Skin, and therefore that means they take 80% less damage unless you inflict them with a status ailment. That, or you can bring a character that has a specific skill, Pierce Iron Skin, to allow them to do optimal damage right from the get-go. And most importantly, avoid bringing characters that can only inflict burn, since at that point they're basically inflicting no status ailment, and since the whole idea of this quest is to inflict status ailment, it's not really going to be that ideal. But keep in mind that the stage hazards for this particular map are actually paralysis pools, and the maps themselves are quite slim in nature, so if you aren't immune to paralysis, you won't have the biggest amount of space to flash step around. So I do recommend either bringing a character that is immune to paralysis, or make sure the character you are using is immune to paralysis by using links or bonus abilities. On your screen right now are a list of characters that have both recharge and also paralysis immunity. If you have those, you can give your character a T15 bonus ability such as paralysis immunity, and that will make it so you're perfectly immune to paralysis. An example build that I've been using on my Lisa, for example, is using the New Year Kayan link and also a bonus ability to make sure this character is immune to paralysis, and that means I can stand wherever I want to in the map and not having to worry about getting paralyzed. You don't have to be immune to paralysis. If you know where to stand, you'll be perfectly fine, but it adds that extra bit of safety net, gives you a bit more room to move, and personally that's how I like to play this particular quest. As always though, before we do talk about characters that I would recommend bringing, the characters on your screen right now are characters that actually increase the drop rate for super links or potions, which is the main reason why you'll be farming this quest. By bringing these characters into COP, you get an additional 5 sets of links or potions, and sometimes even normal links or potions, so it is advised you have a full team of super links or characters, and maybe you yourself can bring a powerhouse character to carry them through the quest. If you want to maximize the amount of drops that you get per soul ticket, it should be prioritized that you bring some of these characters. Having said that though, keep in mind that this time round, since we are going against Quincy enemies, the options itself for those that have killer are very limited. On your screen right now, you can see there isn't that many characters here, only 2 rows of characters, and realistically, of the characters that you can see here, maybe only 4 of them are really worth using in this particular quest. And since most people might not have access to any Quincy Killers, it is recommended that you just bring your best, most powerful character, even if they aren't the most optimal character. But starting off with the technique attribute, the best character you probably can bring for this particular quest is of course going to be the new and renewed Quincy Ichigo. This character is just broken, and we're probably going to mention him every single month when it comes to Inheritance Trials because he is simply just amazing for this particular quest. While it's true this character doesn't actually have killer effect here, it realistically doesn't matter. He already has a ridiculously high damage output thanks to his Frenzy +2, high Berserker value, and also when he does inflict a stat ailment, which he has a very easy time doing by the way, he then gets an 80% stat buff to his spiritual pressure stat. Alongside the fact that he has a great set of strong attacks, can inflict weakening and also drain on every single attack. If you don't have a great character to carry you, even at 1 out of 5, this Quincy Ichigo is probably going to be one of, if not your best option to tackle this particular quest. Another great option of course is going to be Toshiro, more so just a very high damage dealing character, especially when you get all the conditions met, which he for the most part should have a very easy time doing. If you do take hits, you can potentially get back up to full stamina thanks to the fact that he does have the gauge effects. There are going to be times where you have all those buffs active, and that's going to allow you to get through most of the stages relatively quick, especially the boss stages. I would recommend bringing Quincy Ichigo over this Toshiro, but Toshiro is still a massive powerhouse character and definitely worth bringing if you have no other better option. Gin, of course, is going to be a highlight for this particular quest. Not only does he increase the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you do get, he's going to be really good for this quest, and finally we can actually see how good this character is when it comes to Inheritance Trials, since these enemies are immune to poison. Gin's whole gimmick is that he has Frenzy +2 with the fact that he does have an increased chance to inflict stat ailment, which is very good for getting through the Iron Skin ability. More often than not, this character is going to inflict poison, and therefore he's then going to do 40% more damage to the enemies you are attacking. Even though he doesn't have killer, he's still going to be a good character to use here, especially because he does increase the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you do get. In addition though, the map is quite linear, so that SA2 is going to be really good for just giving some great crowd control. And the same can also be said for 1000 Year Blood Will Uryu. In his case, also a pretty good crowd control SA2 with the tracking vortex, good damage output, but in this case this character can go through Iron Skin, but once more also increase the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you get. Since he does go through Iron Skin and also does increase the amount of drops you do get, he's going to be one of the better options to bring for this particular quest. For the heart attribute, as always, one of your better characters to bring here is of course going to be 1000-Year Blood War round 16 Ichigo. He doesn't increase the amount of link swap potions you do get, but the one thing you can guarantee is that he will be doing a ridiculous amount of damage. With Frenzy plus 2 and 100% more damage to enemies not afflicted by a status ailment, with the fact that he pierces Iron Skin, even though he doesn't have killer, it's not really going to matter. He's always going to be the best option for the heart attribute and makes for a great carry regardless of the enemies you are going against. And of course, we don't have Ichigo. Another great substitute here is going to be the Safui version of Yoruichi. In her case, again, once more, really good damage output, can heal your entire team, has a very easy time inflicting status ailments regardless of the enemies you are going against, and that just makes her a great character to a lesser extent compared to Ichigo for inheritance trials. Do be wary though, she herself is not immune to any status ailments, so keep that in mind before you do decide to bring it into a quest. Good or reliable 6th anniversary Aizen is also going to be a very good character to tackle this particular quest. A lot of people, since he has been out for almost 2 years, which is crazy to think about, you might have him worked on, you might have him max transcended, and you can never go wrong with a max transcended 6th anniversary Aizen. Similar to Uryu and also Gin, great crowd control in this particular quest. He is immune to paralysis, so you're going to have an easy time inflicting weakening, inflicting drain, keeping yourself safe, and probably going to go for this quest relatively easy, despite this character not having a killer effect. And I guess my last recommendation for the heart attribute is going to be Kaname. Kaname does increase the amount of link swap potions you do get and also super link swap potions. And while he doesn't have an increased chance to inflict a status ailment like Gin, for example, he's probably going to be the best option for this particular quest for those that increase the amount of drops you do get by using this character. The runs will be slow, but if you have no other better option, Kaname should definitely do the job. For the power attribute, there is no better character other than the head captain himself, 1000-Year Blood War Yamamoto. Immune to every status ailment, can share that immunity to your team, really good damage output, especially when he does inflict a status ailment to get to 80% stat boost to his spiritual pressure stat. But most importantly, this character does actually have Quincy Killer, so he's going to be really good, pretty much the best option to tackle this particular quest. Now, the enemies themselves are actually immune to burn, so he isn't getting the max damage potential, but realistically, it doesn't matter since he can still inflict weakening. While it's true you won't get that 40% extra damage to burned enemies, with this character, it really doesn't matter. He's going to go for this quest ridiculously fast and be a super safe and fun to play character. My next recommendation, and this is more so for the Halibo fans that want to get more usage out of this character outside of the arena game modes. Halibo herself does have Quincy Killer here, so she is actually usable in this particular quest. But there are a few caveats here. She doesn't have a high damage output, only having Frenzy plus 1 with a 20% Berserker value. But the whole thing is that she can inflict slow. Every 5 seconds, she has a 12% chance to inflict slow on any given enemy. And if you do inflict slow, you then do 40% more damage. Keep in mind though, she herself isn't a ranker, so she's taking more damage herself, and she also isn't immune to paralysis. So she's more certainly being recommended here because she does actually have Quincy Killer. But once more, this is more so for the Halibo fans that want to get more use out of their potential favorite character. The mana version of Yumachika is going to be a great character here, since he himself does increase the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you do get, and given the fact that he does pierce Iron Skin, he's going to be an exceptional character for this particular quest. Will struggle a tad bit against the bosses since he does have a super high damage output, but if you have no other better option and you're still in need of someone that can actually increase the drop rate for links or potions and also super links or potions, Yumachika makes for a great character. The same can be somewhat said about the Momo too. She's more so a character that wants to get carried by someone like Yamamoto, for example, but she does increase the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you can get while buffing your main DPS. So if you're looking to get carried and get easy potions, Momo's not a bad character to use here. For the speed attribute, the best character to use here is of course always going to be this character until he gets topped, that being Tensei Zangetsu. Frenzy plus 1 with a high Berserker value, goes through Iron Skin, but most importantly actually increase the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you can get. While it's true he doesn't have killer here, it realistically doesn't even matter. While using this character, the only thing you need to really worry about is the fact that he isn't immune to paralysis, but that can easily be dealt with. So if you're looking to farm potions fast with the fastest clear time and the most drops per soul to get, 4 Tensors are going to be the way. But Tensor's not the only Linkster character that can be used here, because Akon also makes for a pretty good character. The reason for that is because he himself does actually have Quincy Killer while also increasing the amount of links or potions you can get in this particular quest. But do keep in mind, 3 of his 6 attacks can actually not inflict status ailments, so there is a bit of a caveat by using this character. only his SA2 and 3 can inflict stat augments, and he does have an increased chance to inflict stat augments, so he's going to be really good here. The only downside you're going to see with this particular character is that one, he's not immune to paralysis, and he also won't be doing the most damage on his soul bomb, since his soul bomb basically is inflicting no stat augments. This is going to be notable when you use his soul bomb against the final boss. But once more, if you have no other better option and you're still trying to increase the links or potions you can get, and again super links or potions, Akon is going to make for still a very solid character. 7th Anniversary Aaroniero is always going to be a great character in Heritage Trials with a great strong attack kit, fast mobility, great survivability too, since he does have weaken and also drain. But most importantly, this character does actually have an increased chance to inflict stat augments. With Frenzy +2, every strong attack you do use, you're very likely to inflict stars, which is going to not only heal you, but also allow you to do 50% more damage since you are inflicting them with weakening. While it's true he's not immune to paralysis, nor does he have killer, it's not really going to stop this Odi from being a very good and very powerful carry for the speed attribute. And for the mind attribute, the best character you can bring here is of course going to be the visored version of Lisa. Not only does she have a very high damage output, has a very easy time inflicting stars thanks to her increased chance to do so, she also does have Quincy Killers here, so she's really optimal in this particular quest. As mentioned already, the rooms themselves are quite linear, so while Lisa doesn't have the best range in her strong attacks, it's not going to stop you from clearing enemies very fast, and since she can actually inflict paralysis and also last rate, there's a pretty good chance that anytime a boss does spawn in, they're instantly spawned in and they won't be able to move, allowing you to easily go through this entire quest. Once more, she herself is not immune to paralysis, so you want to make sure you can make her immune by giving her bonus abilities and also links. My second recommendation is going to be the hidden version of Aaroniero. Keep in mind he is an Aranka, so he is taking more damage here, but he is a character that increases the amount of links or potions and also super links or potions you can get. But most importantly, he himself does actually have weakening on every attack with an increased chance to do so. The mind attribute doesn't have access to that many great characters, so if you're looking to increase the amount of drops you can get while still constantly inflicting stat augments, this Aaroniero is going to be perfectly serviceable. And then I guess my last recommendation is going to be 7th Anniversary Ichigo. Not really the most optimal character here, but he does have great crowd control, is immune to every stat augment, can inflict stat augments, and a lot of people do have this character maybe duped out. So he's mostly just going to be a great option for many people because they have no other better option. But with that said, that was the video for today, breaking down this month Inheritance Trials. In the comments below, let me know what characters you plan to use. On your screen right now are the characters that I'm using for this particular quest. The biggest star for me this month is going to be Lisa. Having a really fun time using her, even though she's only 1 out of 5. She's an exceptional character for this quest, and I definitely will be showcasing her in the coming days because she's worth it. She's a great and fun character to use. Haven't really used her much since I have pulled her a few months ago, but now is a great time to use her, and I'm having a lot of fun going through IT with this particular character. It's been a while since I've ever really used a Lisa, so it's fun to try a character that I don't really use that much, especially in this case where she's really optimal and also very powerful. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.